Welcome to Ando's Thinky Time podcast. In this episode, I'm talking with my friend Kat. She is a witch, and I went to her temple, and she told me all about witchcraft. I had so many questions, as you might imagine, and I got a beautiful blessing put on me, and lots of other interesting things happened in this episode. There were tarot cards, there were bones that we threw. It was a very exciting time. I know that you'll enjoy this episode, and I'm so pleased that you're listening. Thank you very much for listening to the show. Find more about me at andyepler.com, ANDYEPPLER.com. I do podcasts, I do paintings, I do music, I wrote a book. Come check it out. If you'd like exclusive content from my art life, information about my movie, wrote and directed a movie last year. If you'd like to see that movie, patreon.com/AndoTheArtist. Thank you very much to all my Patreon subscribers. They're making my world sing right now. Enjoy the episode. My friend, have you ever considered having a mindful kind of practice before? Meditation, interesting tool. Another interesting tool is yoga. I'm no expert yogaist or yogist at all, but I have been using it for a few years now just to kind of help me get connected to my body, help me get in shape, help increase my flexibility. It's really helped my back. I've had back problems for years, and yoga has been a really great tool for me. I want to recommend a yoga place for you, friend. Are you in Boulder County? I hope so. Left Hand Yoga over on 1811 Hover Street. Suite H here in Longmont. Left Hand Yoga. They're a really good spot to go to, especially if you've never yogaed before, my friend. Sometime you got to yoga that sexy ass body of yours, listener. You ought to at least try it. And these guys are a great place to make your first place that you yoga. They're really great teachers and really take good care of you. I hope you not hurt yourself as you try and get into these positions. If you're like looking up shit on YouTube or whatever, you may be doing something subtle that will hurt you in the long run. These people won't let that happen to you. I think that when you leave yoga your first time, you realize that you're feeling good, you're feeling clear, you're feeling centered. I recommend it really highly. Check out lefthandyoga.org to see their class schedule. And go by and say hi. Tell them Ando sent you. And I'm excited for you. Well, I guess my first question is, what is the goal of witchcraft?
The goal.
Yeah, like
of witchcraft.
is it more like a tool that you can use however you want, or is it like a philosophy?
Yes, is the answer to that.
Interesting.
I mean, I think witchcraft is a practice. It's an art form. So that's like asking somebody what's the goal of art. Mm-hmm. You know, you make things, you craft things.
Yeah.
But it is a philosophy.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know, the idea is that you're the master of your own destiny.
Right.
And that you can make this life and this world whatever you want it to be. And so that's the goal.
See, that's the same kind of shit that like Tony Robbins says.
Absolutely.
You know? So, and a lot of
he just doesn't do it with as much paraphernalia.
Yeah, I'm into the paraphernalia.
Yeah, he makes a hell of a lot more money than I do though. So he's got something going on.
He must be a witch of some kind. A warlock. That's a dude witch.
No, it is not a dude witch.
No?
No.
See? Okay, good. Now, what?
Warlock.
Yes, tell me this.
That's Hollywood.
Ooh.
The definition of the word warlock is...
Sounds very negative.
Yes, it is, actually. It's a really bad thing to call someone because it means oath breaker.
Oh, bummer. No, that's not what we call people.
It means someone who is like a big fat liar. So
interesting.
I don't know, yeah. So no, a male
Okay.
witch is just a witch.
Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
See, this is how uneducated I am.
No, no, no.
on
It's
this.
okay. It's Hollywood. I'm
I'm
telling
here
you.
for
I
it,
don't
being
have
educated.
green skin. You know,
Should we spill water on you?
I have a
real quick?
lot of brooms. That's just because I think they're cool. But there's some of Hollywood is kind of cool, but most of it is like really,
Yeah. Yeah, like growing up, my family was, of course, terrified of witches.
Of course.
Not like centrally in our lives or anything, but witches were bad guys,
So I actually was thinking about this because I knew your background, and I thought, okay, Andy's gonna come at this from a raised as a Christian perspective, and how could you otherwise?
Yeah.
And I thought about, there's that Bible verse that says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live."
Yep.
Which I'll get in front of answering to that before you even ask it, because it is really.
I'm happy to suffer you to live.
Thank you for that. But it's really one of those things that is lost in translation.
Yeah.
When you start taking words from Aramaic or whatever and translating it, and not only translating the words, but translating the intention, I believe, of course, now all of this is just from what I've learned, but I
Sure.
believe that the Bible passage meant that you shall not suffer a poisoner to live.
Oh.
Which is just a testament to capital punishment, if you really want to go there. So, yeah, I think the
Interesting.
word witch didn't come out until the King James Version,
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think.
I feel like mostly the term witch has been used to sort of like repress forward-thinking women in society.
Absolutely.
Yeah, doesn't that seem
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, people are afraid of the things that they don't understand.
The sacred feminine is very dangerous to overly masculinated dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So midwives and healer women, and, they would figure out ways to accuse women of witchcraft if they happen to, by accident, become landowners.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that
Not a good
seems like
time
what
in
it
the
is.
history of the world.
No, and I feel like people don't talk about witchcraft in modern society nearly as much as they did like in the 90s. When I was growing up, it seemed like people talked about witches a lot more. There Sabrina the Teenage Witch on the TV, and
Yeah.
there's people at church worried about it. And I had a Bible class every year of school because I went to a private Christian school. And they would show us videos that said like people in rock and roll are actually into witchcraft.
Ooh.
Which is
Rock
exactly.
and rollers are so evil.
Well, it's more like it's exactly what the marketing campaigns for those bands was trying to get people riled up about.
Sure.
If you can get the uptight Christian folks mad at your artist, that's pretty good.
Right?
You know what I
You
mean?
can sell a lot of albums that way.
Right, to the other people. You piss off the people that aren't going to buy your shit anyway.
Right.
And then the other people that don't like those folks will buy your shit. It's just as simple as
So
that.
you're out there burning albums and
Yeah.
yeah.
But in the
absolutely.
meanwhile, like a nice thing like witchcraft, it seems like a purposeful art form mostly for like kind of seeing reality through and trying to affect reality, or at least your perception of it, gets kind of thrown out with the fucking bathwater.
Well, I also think that probably, witchcraft itself enjoyed sort of a renaissance in the 60s and 70s. And then probably around the 80s and 90s, it was like, what is happening? And now it's like, yeah, so what? You're a witch. Big, hairy deal. It's not... I think that there are people who are afraid to claim that word. So
Yeah.
they will use a variety of other words. And there are some religious connotations to the practice of witchcraft, and then there's the craft itself. And like you can be Wiccan, which is a religion,
Oh, right.
or you can be a witch and not necessarily be Wiccan, right? So there's
Right.
this kind of, it's paganism, and I think
Yeah.
paganism itself has become more accepted in the world. If people ask, are you Christian? I'm like, no, I'm a pagan. Oh, okay. And they just don't give me that tilted head puppy dog look anymore and say, what?
Yeah.
You know, but if I say I'm a witch, then they go, oh.
I have follow-up questions now.
Yeah. And, you know, whatever. I've gotten to an age in my life and I've been doing this for so long that I don't really care. You know, it's like, whatever. You got questions? Sure.
People's religions are already so weird that, like, witchcraft is not any different as far as, like, awkwardness level to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's an interesting set of beliefs. I'm really curious about it because I'm interested in reality, right? I want to know if there's ways to affect it and
absolutely
ways that people are doing that. You know, I think that, well, for one thing, when you talk about witchcraft's renaissance in the 60s and 70s, that makes me think about psychedelics.
Yeah.
Because those things seem historically connected, you know?
Sure.
The Salem witch trials, I think there was something about, you know, some kind of ergot or some kind of something that got into this, and people started tripping balls, and they start being like, these ladies are witches, let's kill them, or whatever.
And I don't like my neighbor, so let me accuse her. And, you know.
And so, like, even in the Bible, there was a king, King Saul, who went to a witch to tell him his future about this battle he was going into. It's like it was a lady witch, you know what I'm saying?
Like an oracle or some sort of a fortune teller?
Yeah, fortune teller type lady. But it's presented as like a very mystical, creepy thing that he went and did in a cave or some shit, you know?
As we sit in my little mystical cave.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see kind of like the attitude toward witchcraft seems to have changed, and people have become more like, yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, that's cool, whatever. Yeah. Just like they've done the same with psychedelics nowadays. You tell somebody in the 70s, I'm doing, you know, acid or whatever, they're going to have a certain thought process about you. You tell somebody that shit in the 90s, different, man. Different opinion. After Reagan comes through and shit and changes the national opinion on that kind of stuff or whatever. And then nowadays you tell somebody you did acid, they don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think people are they really don't, I think it depends on where you live, too. I think there are parts of the country where maybe people would still have a hard time with what I'm doing, but, you know, the truth is I'm not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
And, right? So I don't think people really care all that much. And,
I'm curious about it. What are you doing? What is the kind of stuff you're doing?
What is the kind of stuff I'm doing? Yeah. That's a great question. You know, like I said, witchcraft is a practice. It's an art form. So I do, you know, I mean, like, think of something you'd want to change about your life.
Okay.
You want more money? Sure. Then you do some prosperity magic, or you do money to attract, you know, you do a spell or whatever to attract a new job or
ladies or whatever.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
That's
to all
what
of that.
Would take, I would think.
Huh? Well, I can fix you up. There's so many ways to do spells, and that I think for you, the way I would describe it, because you have such a Christian background, people say, do you believe in the power of prayer? And I say, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I would probably say, like, what do you mean?
Right?
You know?
Like if I said, well, what do you do when you pray? You know, you're thinking about something that you want to change, or you want to communicate with something higher than yourself. And it's not really that much different. Spells are just prayers with props.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I do a lot of charm work.
So that when you have the charm, it reminds you of what you were trying to be purposeful
about.
All
about intention.
So let me tell you how I think it works, and you can tell me how far out I am.
Yes,
here's what I think it is.
Okay.
You do, let's call it prosperity magic. I want to make, you know, a lot of money this year.
Okay.
So I do this purposeful spell, or I have this charm, or I do this ritual that really brings me into the moment and lets me know I'm focusing on this thing with my perception.
Yes.
This goal.
Yes.
Now, I go out into the world and I have this charm, let's call it a bracelet or whatever, and I've got it on, and every time I look at it, I think, oh yeah, my goal is I want to make more money this year. And so now when opportunities are coming by in the world, I see things I might not have seen before because I'm always focused on my goal.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nailed it.
Congratulations,
Ando gets witchcraft.
You're a witch.
I've been doing that for years then. I do that kind of shit all the time. I just don't do a ritual.
I'll tell you what.
I love rituals.
When I used to teach Wicca, I started teaching Wicca in Denver at a metaphysical store in 1990.
So was it a store? No,
yeah.
It was not a store as well, though.
No, it was a store, a little store. It was a little store, and they offered classes, and they offered a year-long program in witchcraft. And I was on the faculty. Then we taught every week and I did that for 10 years.
You taught witches to be
I taught
witches.
witches to be witches.
Wow.
So I was used to okay, here's a baby witch. I'm going to make this baby witch a smarter witch.
Strong mama witch.
Right? I'm going to teach this person some skills and some ethics and some spellcrafting methods and some mythology and all of that. And the hardest thing to get across was that spell work is just really about setting clear intention.
Yeah.
When you came to my house, you said, oh, look, there's the pennies on my porch.
Yeah, the pennies on the porch.
That's a spell.
Yeah.
That is a prosperity working, and I will share it with you, and your listeners can do this spell all for themselves. It's super easy. You put pennies on your porch.
You just
that
sprinkle
is the spell. And for me, when I throw the pennies on the porch, I think everyone who crosses my threshold is going to bring that prosperity in the door with them.
Like they're tracking it in.
Yep. And everyone who leaves is going to go with joy. And sometimes I go out there and the guys who cut the lawn in the neighborhood will have picked them all up and they're all gone. And it's like, okay, and so I'll just replace them and I don't really get too hung up about it. But sometimes those things are just really simple things. But I get more questions about those pennies on my porch than just about anything. I have a giant pentacle on the front door that you probably walked right past and didn't even notice.
It looks like a Texas star or something, right?
Yeah, but now that you think about it, like, look, a witch lives here.
Yeah, because when I walked up, I was like, I'm not at the right place. Because there's
I'm not from Texas.
You ain't from Texas, and if she were, she wouldn't have this,
Right? And now that you think about it.
Yeah, but then I finally saw the pennies. I was like, all right, I'm in the right place. I don't know what this is about, but I'm in the right place.
But now do you get it?
Yeah,
right?
totally I do.
Because it's all in plain sight for me.
Yeah, 5, of course, being a mystical, important number. It's one of the Fibonacci numbers in the Fibonacci sequence, which is what the whole world is based off of,
Yeah.
That seems mystical by itself, that there are kind of like...
There are so many correlations between the world and us and, like water. The earth itself is, 75 or 78% water?
Yeah.
But so are our bodies.
Right.
And that's intent, that's on purpose. The universe is laid out that way.
Yeah, everything
cool.
makes sense.
And if you're Christian, I would imagine that you would think that God does that. And if you're not, you just think that that's a magical
how things
thing.
come together, Yeah, it is sort of an interesting... Here's what I want to do. I want to get my tarot cards read.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Can we do that on the show?
Sure.
Is that going to be weird? We can always cut it out, Chris.
Yes. Let's do it with the option to cut it out because
there you go.
I will tell you that when I read tarot, I do not tell fortunes.
Yeah, no.
I don't predict the future. And I have a tendency to get really... it is unusual for someone to get their tarot read that doesn't have a significant emotional response to it. Like I always say, oh shit, I forgot the tissues again.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm a very emotional guy.
So,
I'm liable to cry.
Right. If you're willing to do that
you're
willing to do that for your listeners, then that's fine.
Yeah, I'll cry. These people aren't.
I'm not saying that you will. I'm just giving you an out that if you want to clip that section, you can.
Okay. And I may. I have no idea what we'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
And I can read bones for you too. What I'm not as adept with that. That's something I'm still learning to do. That is a different kind of practice. I'm studying. I think if you're not learning something, you're dying, right? You're not growing, you're dying.
That's
so
right.
I'm still learning. I'm studying African American hoodoo practice.
Cool.
Which is not the same as voodoo.
No.
Hoodoo is, African folk magic. And for me, it's just another tool in my magical toolbox. And it is fucking cool. So cool. So cool. So I've taken some classes, and there's this fantastic woman named Michelle Jackson who literally wrote the book on bone reading.
Oh my
And
God.
I was blessed to take a class from her last year and have dabbled in bone readings since then. And I will be taking another class from her in September. She doesn't live in Colorado, so it's super exciting to have her come to
Interesting.
town and
Oh, wow.
like get to study with her a little bit. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Bone reading. See, that's the kind of shit I think about when I think of witches, right?
Wah,
You know, they like get a little chicken egg or something. They, put in some blood and mix it up, or they spit. Or I don't know. And they throw some bones in there and mix it all up. Or I don't know how the fuck it goes.
Yeah.
I think that's from a movie. I think
Probably.
that's from Robin Hood with, yeah. I think it's from Robin Hood.
Yeah, there are times when I don't feel very witchy or whatever. And then I look around my house and I'm like, I'm doing this every day. It really just is part of who I am, and I can't divorce myself of that. Yeah, so there are times when I actually do something, like I brew something, or I make a salve, or I craft a little charm or something, and I'm like, ooh, I feel particularly witchy today.
I'm very witchy today.
I'm feeling very, earlier today I was blending up an incense.
Yeah.
And so I'm out there with a mortar and pestle and all the herbs and whatnot, and I was like, oh, I'm feeling particularly witchy right now because I'm blending an incense.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Let's do some witchcraft.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should. I think it's for the best.
Excellent.
Yes. What should we do? What do we want, right? That's the question.
Come over here. I'm going to show you this cool stuff because I want to. Yeah. So, shut this thing. I don't know why this is.
Here's what I can do. Boom. Ooh, that was loud.
Loud. Pause the video. So this is my little apothecary of herbs. A lot of witches work with stones, rocks, minerals, that kind of thing. I am not as adept with those things. I understand them. I'm definitely more of an herb witch. So I work a lot with these. So this is an incense I've been working on.
Beautiful red color.
Yeah, that would
orangey red.
That would be the sandalwood. They're probably not going to smell like much. But it'll smell better when it's burning. But so I've been taking this class with this guy. And last night he lit this incense before a big meditation that we did, and I was like, what is in that incense? And he kind of rattled off a few things, and I was like, I'm going home and I'm going to make that. So
that smelled good to me.
Yeah. So
what I'm standing in front of is like a 7-foot tall double bookshelf full of things that you would find like in a closet at Harry Potter's school. You know?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, totally. For like
little seeds and black henbane and yeah.
all the classics, dude.
Roots and leaves
Valerian.
and
how fucking bee pollen.
yeah.
Snake? What is that? Snake?
It's just skin, snake skin.
Snake skin?
Yeah, I put it in incense sometimes if it's transformative work.
Oh,
Snakes
because
are very transformative.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how it works.
Yeah. So it's yeah.
Mistletoe.
I make a lot of oils. This is the money drawing oil here, obviously.
There's like it looks like maybe an old gin bottle or something like that. It's kind of like a small drinking bottle. Maybe it had syrup in it at some point.
I have no idea what it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's got what's it got in there? It's a couple bucks and some little items. What is that? Cinnamon.
That's cinnamon. Mm-hmm. And herbs and roots and yeah.
And it's kind of like it's not a potion. You don't drink it. You look at it.
No, it's an oil.
Oh, you put it
wear.
on.
Yes.
I see.
So
and
it
you
is,
smell a certain way.
It is a potion.
I see.
So you would put it on, maybe you would put it on a dollar bill that you keep in your wallet, or maybe you'd put it on yourself before going into a job interview, or I don't know.
Anything that'll bring it into your awareness. Is that kind of the idea? And that's a love potion that you're holding now? Mm-hmm. What's in there?
I'm not telling you what's in it.
Oh my God.
I'm not telling you what's in it.
And you've got amber here?
Resins. I work with a lot of resins and herbs. and leaves.
How
This
cool.
is road opener oil. This is like if things are blocking you from stuff, you use that road opener.
Wow. Road opener.
Road opener.
This is
Yeah.
amazing, Kat. I'm really
Thanks.
blown away, man.
This is, yeah, I'm not a baby witch. I've been doing this a long time. This is, yeah, I've been doing this a really, really long time.
It's all so gorgeous. I
Thank you.
love
Thank you.
your labeling system is beautiful.
That's a work in progress.
It's not just like white stick-it notes
You mean
or
like
whatever.
these?
Yeah,
Like-
that's one thing. Yeah, there are a couple that are the white stick-it notes, I guess. But these other ones are like beautifully written with these kind of like
Woodruff. This came out of my
scrolls.
garden. That came out of my garden.
This is so
Yeah.
amazing, dude.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this. This is where everyone comes in if they see it, and they come in here and they stop and they just stare at this thing and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm more excited the more I look at it. Because just there's so many cool things here, man.
Yeah. This is part of that incense you were just smelling. This is dragon's blood resin. It's just big rocks of resin like amber, but it doesn't really have a...
Very subtle.
No, but that's going to have a lot of that same... this is sandalwood powder. That really does have a good smell. And I've got that
Yes.
in a not powdered form too. This is myrrh.
Devil's Club.
Yeah. So
Man.
I actually got to tell you, I don't know what the hell Devil's Club is.
Yeah.
One of the girls that I work with bought, like, she had to have it for something she was working on, and she's like, I've got this giant bag of Devil's Club. Do you want some? And I'm like,
Fuck yeah.
Sure. And she brought this such a giant bag, and I was like, all right, I'm going to fill one jar of this, and then I'll figure out what to do with it later. Yeah, so galangal root. Galangal root is an interesting root. You might put it in some charm for... Like if you're having legal issues, like you're going to enter a contract or you have to go to court for something, galangal root is a good root for that.
Oh man.
I know.
My mind is blown. I feel like I'm at Harry Potter's place, man. What is that place called?
Oh yes, we're in Professor Snape's potions class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. This is saltpeter, which is going to make my incense burn. So they put saltpeter in to keep it... You know, when you buy a stick of incense, it's got saltpeter in it, and that's what keeps it burning.
Oh.
Yeah. Otherwise, you have to put it on a charcoal or something. Okay. So I'm going to try to see if I can make this incense burn on its own. We'll see. We'll see how that works. I'm experimenting with that.
I'm blown away, man. Just want to sit here and look at all these different ingredients
All
forever.
the things. Looking at all the things.
Let me ask you a question off the record. I just had to ask that. Yeah, cool. And this one over here says Star Anus.
Star Anus. You can actually buy this at Whole Foods. This stuff is like at Whole Foods. Once you see it, you'll recognize it because you'll see that.
Yeah, it's for cooking with or whatever. You put like a tiny
Yeah, it
amount
smells
of
like a little bit like incense or like licorice. It's a licoricey smell.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
How fucking awesome is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm fucking blown away with that. I don't want to touch anything, but it's just
This
amazing.
kind of stuff you can touch.
It's amazing.
This is my spell book.
Ooh,
Right?
that's a real spell book. That's exactly what
Witches
I would
do
think it would
have
look like,
them,
dude.
Right?
It's leather bound.
Yeah,
It's got
with
some
this
kind of a
little
bone.
to hold it closed.
Yeah, that's
Let
cool.
me see what I can show you.
You know what it reminds me
Open
of?
it up and see what I can show you.
Oh, dearest listener, what this spell book sort of looks like is, remember Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? Remember his dad's diary? It's a little like that, but full of witchcraft. Which
All right.
I guess like that book was sort of full of witchcraft, and that was kind of the whole thing of the movie.
See? Okay, wait. I'm going to find something I can actually show you. Okay,
That's
so
so
here
cool.
is my recipe for Florida water.
Okay,
So this is my Florida water right here.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a purpley.
Well, that's just because there's paint on the bottle,
okay.
but I think
Can't
that
tell
it's just
the
a little
juice.
bit cloudy
Yeah.
water. But I'm gonna let you smell it. It's Florida water is a hoodoo folk magic, and it's used for cleansing and like so you'd put Florida water on your hands and over your head to like clear this
Like your
face, and it
mind and
smells
whatever?
kind of like really bad cologne. So you being the cologne guy, yeah,
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
yeah.
But
So everybody's recipe for Florida water's their own. I decant my own rose water,
cool.
which is one of the ingredients in my Florida water.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
draw a line between those and my nose here.
So in my Florida water is rose, decanted rose water, and then, moon water, which is water that you collect and you set under the light of the full moon. So I have giant jars of full moon water. So I have
Interesting.
jars of water sitting on my porch during the full moon.
Wow.
And then, other...
What is full moon water for?
Oh, everything. Everything.
It's
I
like
water
the-
my plants with it. I
Apple
wash-
cider vinegar for witches.
Yes. Yes. So I have a giant jar on my kitchen counter that it was from the supermoon with the lunar eclipse.
Oh
Remember?
yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
it's super moon water.
It's super moon water.
Do you do blood moon water? Do you do?
Yes.
Yeah, right. You
And
must.
yes.
Right?
You can collect storm water. You can collect melted
Interesting.
snow. Like if you're going to use
Oh.
water, you should be intentional about all of the ingredients,
Yes, of course.
right?
The more intention you put into it, the more powerful the
layers
magic.
and layers and layers and
see.
layers. Yes.
Interesting. Oh, it smells so good in here now that we've been stirring all this stuff up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's a good oil to smell. Sorry, that was the cork coming out. That's a blessing oil.
It almost has a little bit of a
There's a lot of stuff in that.
little woodsy thing happening. Kind of a.
Here, so with your indulgence, set your thing down. I'm gonna do a little. Anointing for you. So
Oh,
anointing. You're going to need to put your phone down.
Oh, great.
Anointing.
Can I put it over here on
is
this?
even in the Bible. Don't put it on here.
No,
put it,
that's
yeah,
bad.
Thank
Put
you.
it down here.
Yeah, let's not put it on that.
You got it.
All right, so I'm going to do an anointing for you. So why don't you
Wonderful.
stand like the Vitruvian Man? You know who I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. That would be our Leonardo da Vinci dude.
Should I get naked for this? Would it help?
It might help you, but I think it would distract me totally.
Just being honest.
Okay, so are you ready? Okay, so the idea of an anointing is just to bless someone.
Wonderful.
Right? So I'm going to bless you in the witch's way.
I'll take it.
Okay? Okay, ready? I anoint you in the sign of the pentacle, the sign of a man triumphant, blessed with the senses of sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing, and blessed with a sense that is beyond all senses, here in your third eye. And that's it.
That was fun. I feel blessed. That
I
was
am
wonderful.
laughing so much. This is so much fun, Andy. I can't even believe we're doing this.
I'm so glad. I like to do witchcraft.
I feel like the whole interview is going to be you saying really profound things and me laughing. That's what the whole interview is going to be.
I'm not sure we've hit that yet.
All right. Well, there you go. Now you've been anointed.
Wow. I haven't been anointed in a long time. I
Right?
gotta be real. Because the Christians used to do that kind of stuff too. We'd wash each other's feet and
But some of those
oil.
things are way beyond being Christian. They're about washing someone's feet. Wow, what an act of service to someone else to
Totally.
say, "Here I am in service of you."
Right.
I have done that for
It's
people.
sort of a witchcrafty thing, right? Because you're
Well-
doing something to remind yourself of how you want to be in the world.
Yeah.
You want to be a servant, you know?
Yeah.
That's
And I don't
total
know if that's a witchcrafty thing or if that's just
performance art?
Oh,
Or
I don't know. I mean, to be in service to someone else, I think it transcends religion.
Yeah.
So whether it's you're doing it in a witchcraft way or you're doing it at church or you're doing it because you're at Burning Man or whatever it is,
Yeah.
I think, I think some of those things just kind of go outside of the bounds of this is a Christian thing to do or this is a pagan thing to do or
Yeah.
whatever.
But I think it's older than Christianity. You know, I think
Sure.
like Christianity kind of co-ops a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of how the game works.
Oh, this incense is gonna smell good.
Oh, it really does already smell good to me.
I'm kind of excited about it.
I need a bowl of that. I'm not supposed to. Probably not
Yeah, I
supposed
would
to.
not eat that. That would be awful.
Yeah, not a good spell.
No.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this space.
Yeah, it's a good space. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for showing me that cool double bookshelf of cool witch stuff, man.
My pleasure.
My God.
My pleasure.
What a pleasure. Hey, puppy.
He's old.
Yeah, well,
Come on, buddy.
if we're lucky, we'll all get there.
Right?
What a treat.
All right. Let's see what we can do as far as the tarot reading and a bone reading.
Yes.
All right. Do you need another beer?
Sure, I'd drink another beer. Or all the beers. I'm that guy.
You're that guy. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Wasn't that an amazing episode? Tune in next time for my full tarot card reading and the reading of my bones that we threw, all the trinkets, high-level witchcraft in the next episode as well. Thank you very much for listening. Patreon.com/AndoTheArtist for all the exclusive content.